Good evening. Good evening, everybody. We're going to wait for some people to come in and then we're going to get this live started. Tonight's live, you see, I'm in red because it's an emergency and it's time to get some straightening, some real live straightening when it comes to my movement. I don't have on anything Chicago Red. I actually have on an Austin hoodie. Shout out to Roman for giving me this Austin hoodie. This is Austin Town Hall on my shirt. It says abundant, unique, soulful, top notch, innovative, and needed. The Austin community. The Austin Town Hall is where the city of Chicago is building a monument to my father, Ray Easley, for the political work that he has done, the civic work that he has done, the love that he left here on this west side of Chicago. Because I was raised in the Austin community by two college educated parents who decided to bring their intellectual capital back to the neighborhood that raised them, and they raised me here too, in my hood where I live, in my grandma's house that I inherited. Okay, so shout out to my mom for leaving this building for me. Shout out to my granny on my father's side who also left somewhere for me and my family to stay. See, when I talk about this movement that I'm doing, it's because I am a true Chicagoan. I'm a Chicago public school graduate. I graduated the 8th grade out of the Chicago Public Schools from Whitney Young Academic Center. I graduated high school in the city of Chicago from Whitney M. Young Madnick High School. I got a master's degree from the University of Illinois, Chicago. So everything about me is Chicago. My mama and daddy met in the Chicago Public Schools in 1969 at Hess Upper Grade Center when they were in 7th grade. When they were 12 years old, they started going together in 8th grade when they were 13, and they had me when they were 30. So I give you guys all of this background to say that this here is my house. Okay, this is my land. This is my village. And again, everything I do is for this here Austin community. I am Austin. So with that being said, I want to give a little help people catch up to what happened, what's going on with Chicago Red, how this is working, who are all these people now in the Red movement, this, that, and the third. So in 2016, and I've shared this over and over again, I left the United States of America and I moved to Senegal because I could not take Rahm Emanuel and Barack Obama. Okay, I couldn't take it under any circumstances. I said, I deserve better than this. And everybody here is playing a game, acting like they don't see how Barack Obama and Rahm Emanuel are destroying the housing stock of Black Chicago. So I got to get out of here. And the reason that this offended me so much is because I literally grew up in my U.S. Congressman's office working on federal housing policy my entire high school career, okay? When I graduated from high school, I had 500 service hours from specifically working with my U.S. Congressman with a federal initiative called WOW, with ownership wealth. The goal was to increase Black home ownership by 1 million between 2000 and 2010. Okay, that was our goal. We were doing the work, getting the people in the houses, doing the housing seminars, hooking people up with lenders, celebrating closings, the whole nine. This is what I spent my entire high school career doing. So when I came home after college, and I'm watching my neighborhood be demolished in front of my very eyes, I'm like, dang, we did all this work for nothing. So that, broke my heart. I moved to Africa on top of the fact that, again, Obamacare was preventing me from getting a full-time job because the employer mandate stated that if you have more than 30 hours, they had to give you health insurance. So I could only get 29 and a half schedules as an adjunct professor. I say all that to say, I came back to the United States when Donald Trump won because I have a finance degree. I am a college graduate, okay, in real life. In real life. This is not me just making this up. So I came back. I knew that some jobs will open in the finance market because we had a businessman as a president. I came back. I happened to be on Bossa. They talked about this Sunken Place Coon Festival, and they had Ben Carson's picture there. I said, okay, wherever this is in Gaithersburg, Maryland, I got to get there. because I want to talk to Ben Carson about the federal housing mismanagement in the city of Chicago. Very simple. Again, I've shared this story over and over again. I ended up going to the White House and got red pilled by the President of the United States of America in October of 2018. Okay, if you've been following me on Facebook, you've been following me on this journey. The first time I went, I hung out with my Donnie a little bit. We took pictures. I told him, we're going to move this movement to Chicago. And we started Black Chicago for Trump. Black Chicago for Trump snowballed into Black Excellence Hour being on WVON. Now, WVON is the epicenter, or was the epicenter, of Black politics in this country. It's the oldest Black radio station in America. All of the big wigs have had shows on there, from Barack Obama, Brandon Johnson, Roland Martin, Tavis Smiley, you name any big Black political influencer in this country, they have passed through WVON. So I was on WVON for 3 years. Black Excellence Hour was the top show on the station. It was so good that the owner of the station literally got together and was like, P. Ray, please, please, please host my night show. I love your show. You say it's a show for people with high self-esteem. I got high self-esteem. Host my show. Okay, girl, cool. So we're hosting the show, we're getting it in, we're having a good time. And then they tell me that Tavis Smiley came with a syndicated show out of LA. So they were going to remove me from the night show. And then he was going to have his syndicated show from KRBL, BK, whatever it is. But it was going to play at night in Chicago. And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. And so I had my Sunday show still. Well, some people lied on me again on the station, and I ended up not being on the station, which is cool. So that pushed us to start ChicagoRED. ChicagoRED is a civic organization that is dedicated to civic education and patriotic esteem. That's all we have been about since the beginning. Since the beginning, that's all ChicagoRED has been about. Shout out to Miss Marjorie. Shout out to LaTanya. Both of them are members of ChicagoRED. Miss Marjorie actually heard me on the radio and was like, yo, I got to find this girl. Okay, so again, this has been very consistent. This is not me just coming out of nowhere saying, check me out. No. That's not what we were doing. So ChicagoRED, we get together, we start meeting, we start organizing really around the MAGA movement, because we had Jim Crow Joe in office. Now, as we're talking about ChicagoRED and promoting this online, I'm starting to meet all these people from around the city, from around the country. Again, I'm an open-hearted person. People that know P. Ray knows that I'm very friendly, I'm very open, I'm very like, hey, you want to do it? Come on. We took a bus from the west side of Chicago with 50 people to a Trump rally in Wisconsin. I fed everybody. You got the bus. I didn't make anybody pay anything, because again, the goal was to grow the movement as rapidly as possible by any means necessary. Now, let's talk about why we are here. We are here because there is another organization that has been tethering itself to my organization to use the momentum that we have in order to advance something that ain't got nothing to do with us in the city of Chicago. Nothing. This is not our business. Now, let's go back. So one Tuesday, I was at the Leaders Network meeting. The Leaders Network is an organization here on the west side of Chicago that my father, Ray Easley, founded. Now, he didn't found the Leaders Network, but there was a group that came right before the Leaders Network called West Side Ministers Coalition. And that was founded by my father and a man named Reverend Charlie Murray, who was really good friends with President Clinton. After the Million Man March, they decided that they wanted to consolidate the political power of the churches on the west side in order to push policy that could help the entire community. So my daddy was their administrator. Reverend Murray was the chief. And they're pushing this movement. Reverend Murray passed away. My daddy left that alone. He went on to get the Soul City Corridor here on the west side popping, and it is popping. Shout out to Malcolm Crawford for keeping that movement going. He went to be the first vice president of the Chicago West Side Branch NAACP. He was the chairman of the deacon board at our church, Jordan Temple Missionary Baptist Church. He was a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. He was also a member of the Homeboy Classic, which is a group of Black men that used to play basketball when they were younger, but then they got old, so they started going on these golfing tournaments. And in these tournaments, all of the power broker Black men on the West Side would participate in these tournaments. So this is how I know everybody. This is why I keep saying I'm the people's baby girl, literally. Not on no arrogant stuff, but again, because these people literally raised me. Y'all call me P-Ray, they call me Ray Ray. They call me Lil Pat, again, because this is my family. This is what allows us to do the work of ChicagoRED right here on this west side of Chicago without any fear of retribution, because I know that the people know that everything that I'm doing is for the betterment of the west side of Chicago, for the betterment of the city of Chicago. Even when I happen to be on the radio, people would call in and tell me all the time, P-Ray, we don't like you and your Donnie, because I talk about President Trump and I call him my Donnie. They're like, P-Ray, we don't like you and your Donnie, but we like you. And we know that you truly love us. You truly want us to succeed. And I do, because I know that this community has been really, really good to me. I digress. So I'm at this Leaders Network meeting, right? And I run into this woman. And she's telling me, she was from out south and she was coming out here to see, what was going on, because at the Leaders Network, you have the preachers, you have politicians, they got breakfast, the news cameras are there. It's always a to-do. Like the last meeting they had Jesse Jackson Jr., and he was there talking about how he wants a pardon. I digress, but this is a space where people come if you want to get things accomplished. So I meet this woman. She tells me she's from California. She's having this property issue with her folks out south. I'm like, all right, man, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm with ChicagoRED. This is what we're on. This is what we're about. I'm so happy that you're here, this, that, and the third, because again, I'm a very friendly person until I'm not. But for the most part, I'm open-hearted. So ChicagoRED, we're meeting, and people again are finding out about the organization because I'm doing videos, I'm still on shows, so forth. So one day, a woman that I met online comes to me and she's like, P-Ray, I need you to come to City Hall today. I say, girl, I don't want to go to no City Hall. I got a show. I got a radio show. I don't have to go down there and get on those people's mic because I got my own microphone. She says, no, P-Ray, I need you to come down here to City Hall, and I already put your name in the box. I said, okay, ma'am, I'm going to get up, I'm going to get dressed. So I'm thinking, okay, whatever. She called me back. She said, P-Ray, they pulled your name out the box. Come on. I'm like, okay, cool. So I get down there. And I remembered that my neighbor down the street, was going through some difficulties. Her daughter got murdered in front of her face, and she was strung out on drugs. I saw her on the Chicago Mugshot page. And so what made me want to bring her up is that because I was on the radio and the show was very popular, we would have aldermen who would literally call my show while I was on the air. So Alderman Ray Lopez calls the show. And he says, hey, P-Ray, I just want to let you know that the first $51 million that we spent on the migrant situation was really opioid settlement funds. And I'm like, what? He like, yes, that money was supposed to go to build rehabs, and we have given it to these people. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go down there and advocate for our rehabs. Now, I don't get high. I don't got people in my family getting high, but I do know that I live in a community of people who are addicts because they are dealing with a high level of trauma. I have a very soft and tender spot in my heart because I did have people in my family who were addicts. So I understand that trauma can make you want to get high. Sadness can make you want to get high. Bad health can make you want to get high. Disappointment can make you want to get high. So at the end of the day, we still need rehabs. So I go to City Hall, of course. I talk to the mayor directly. I'm like, yo, that first $51 million was supposed to be opioid settlement money. We need that money right here on the west side. Please bring that money back to us, okay? That went viral. I'm talking about viral in a huge way. So I get a call from this guy at Fox News. He tells me that his mother saw my video and calls him and said, "You got to find this woman immediately. Find out who this lady is because you need to talk to her." So there were people here in Chicago who were already dealing with Fox. Those people never mentioned my name to Fox News, okay? Never talked about me to them. The people from Fox ended up calling Project 21, which is an organization that I'm a part of that deals with Black conservative speakers. And he reached out to them. They gave him my contact information, and then he called me. He's like, "Yo, P. Ray, it's so good to talk to you. Are you from DC? I got your number from some DC people." I'm like, "No, I'm from Chicago." He's like, "What? I know all these Chicago people, and they didn't even talk about you at all." I'm like, "It's okay. You got me now." So I started going on Fox. The first day I went on Fox, I was on Fox 3 times. I was on Fox and Friends, I was on the Varney show, and I was on the Laura Ingraham show that was then being hosted by, or guest hosted by, Pete Hegseth, who is now the Secretary of Defense. Well, because my Donnie is a big fan of Pete Hegseth, he saw me on that show and reached out to me personally, tweeted me or sent it out of True Social. "P. Ray Easley, I saw you. You're wise beyond your years. We got to get you in, blah, 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 blah." Okay, cool. All right, y'all, the president see me. Now, at that point, I had already been to the White House 3 times. 3 times I had been to the White House through Turning Point USA and Candace Owens. That's why I tell people Candace got utility, because if it were not for Candace Owens hosting the Young Black Leadership Summit at the White House in 2018, 19, and 20, there would be no Chicago Red, because I would not have gotten red pilled by President Trump in 2018. Okay, so we're gonna say that Candace definitely has utility. I digress. So we're, going through these movements, and then I'm at a rally. So this rally, I had taken maybe like 8 people with me, because what I was trying to do is bring people out. I never want to be the only one. This is why you see people from Chicago Red, my actual Chicago Red group that do Fox, that do Newsmax, that do One America News Network, because we have to make sure that the message is consistent, but there's diversity in speakers, okay? That's what we've always been about. In my organization, we do media training. We do speaking points, because again, P. Ray has been doing this since she was a little bitty girl. Since a little bitty girl, I went through media training. I went through policy training. I know how to say things in a politically correct way, because at the end of the day, the goal is not to get clout. The goal is to advance policies, advance legislation that are going to help the people. That's what we are here for. You ain't never heard me say, "Y'all check out Black Excellence Hour at 7 o'clock on Facebook." No, 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 no. Because I'm not here to promote a show. I'm here to save a neighborhood. That's what I'm here for. And I've told you guys, I'm not screaming at y'all, excuse me, but I have said over and over and over again that my goal is to save the Austin community. You hear me? That's what I'm here for, because the Austin community is my village. Chicago is a city of villages. Everybody, this is why we ask people, what high school did you go to? Who your people? Who you belong to? What neighborhood you from? And then we're going to call somebody and verify that. We have people now who are speaking on behalf of Chicago that are not from Chicago. They are not from here. They are literally here to cause political chaos. Back to my story. So I meet the woman. I'm like, "Hey, girl, okay, yeah, cool." Then I meet another lady. She tells me she's from New York, right? So I'm like, "Oh, you're from New York?" She like, "Yeah, I'm from New York. I got this issue, with my mama building, and I was a part of turning Georgia blue, and I turned Chicago red." Now that immediately made me go, whoa, whoa. Because if you were a part of turning Georgia blue, then what you doing up here with us? It don't make no sense. And you not from here. You don't belong to nobody here. You have no roots in this land. But again, I'm a kind lady. So I'm like, "All right, girl, all right, cool. We gonna make this rock." All right. So now we rocking and we rolling. We going to the rallies. You know, if I every single time I went to a Trump rally, I sat VIP. Every single time. And I brought people from the West Side, from out South with me so that they could have these experiences too. Because one thing that one of my homegirls said is that going to a rally was like drinking dessert. She said, "Oh my God, I have never experienced anything like this. This is wonderful." I'm like, "Girl, we gotta get more people going." So boom, I'm inviting more people. Every time they call me and say, "P. Ray, I can get you this seat or I can get you that seat," I'm like, "You got any extras? You got any extras? I want to bring some people with me." So the running joke was like, P. Ray never go nowhere by herself. She always gotta have a crew with her. And I'm like, I don't want to make it seem like, you know what I'm saying, I'm a bad lady bringing people all the time, but I definitely include my folks. Now, this is why we are here. So we got ChicagoRED, which is a registered PAC with the state of Illinois. We have a website with policies, with missions, with all kind of stuff. And then I'm starting to see this Chicago flips red. So I'm like, oh, what's that? Okay, that's cool. That's cool. All right. So we down at City Hall and they passing out these shirts. Now I got my own shirt. You know, I'm not putting on your shirt. So I wore a shirt that was a picture that someone in my organization made, this picture that President Trump and I took. So when I was at one rally, President Trump literally came, or he sent one of the staff Secret Service people, they came and they tapped me on the shoulder. They said, "Are you P. Ray?" I said, "Yes, I am." They said, "Come with us." I said, "Why?" They said, "Because the president want to meet you in the back." I said, "Woo!" So I go to the back. I wait for my president to come in. He was screaming and hollering just like I was screaming and hollering. We hugging each other. He's kissing me on the cheek. "Oh, I love you, P. Ray. You are so good. You motivate me. The way what you're doing for America is amazing. We're so happy that you're working with us. Guys, get her information. I want her with us." Cool. Okay, again, I didn't choose me. The president chose me. All right. So so I'm starting again to see this organization. And I'm like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't knocking nobody. I ain't knocking nobody because everybody got the right to do what they want to do, how they want to do it. But that's not who I am. So I hop in the picture. I'm standing in the middle. I got my MAGA cap on. I'm the only one that got on the MAGA cap. Okay. I got on my shirt. And I'm there, they saying what they say. I'm like, "Donnie, baby," because again, this is what I call my president. Because again, this is the brand around President Trump that I wanted to create in the city of Chicago. Because the name Trump was so difficult for people to hear that I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna say Trump. I'm just gonna keep saying my Donnie, my Donnie, my Donnie. So they're like, "Uh-oh, P. Ray and her Donnie," you know, whatever. But the goal was to soften his reputation here in the city to make it more personable so that people would not see him as a social pariah and be more open to hearing the policies. Okay. Again, I am a trained politician since I was 11 years old. My daddy that loved me, that claimed me, that want to be around me. My daddy trained me on how to do this. And he got all of his politician friends to train me too. When I was in high school, guess what I was doing? I was an Illinois governmental intern. And as an Illinois governmental intern, I interned for Barack Obama and Governor Rod Blagojevich. When I was working for Rod Blagojevich, I worked in the Citizens Office of, the Office of Citizens Assistance, which is the communications office for the governor. So I learned political communication as a teenager in the Illinois governor's office down in Springfield. I'm not just popping out dressed, rah, rah, rah. I ain't for none of that. Now, again, we rolling through this. We're making friends. People are coming into the organization. They're leaving the organization. I had this weirdo from the Southside Republicans who sent a spy into my meeting, who sat her little raggedy butt up in here for weeks until we figured out that she was a mole, and then she never came back again. So we've been dealing with all kind of just foolishness and chaos. We got these weirdos from the Southwest suburbs who have been so thirsty to get into the Black Chicago political scene. And I've been really good, guys, that like, no, y'all, we don't need y'all leadership. We don't need y'all to tell us what to do. We know how to read, write, and count. Just give us our resources and let us build our own politics. Well, Again, now these people believe that they got somebody, and now they're going to try to elevate them on top of us to diminish what we have going on in order to give them power. And we're not doing that. We're not doing it. I am not affiliated with Chicago Flip Red. I don't get put out of City Hall. I don't get locked up at the White House. I don't go downtown and holler and scream and cussing at the fool. I don't do that. I remember we were at, this was the breaking point for me. We're at City Hall, and Mr. George Blakemore, shout out to George, he gets on the mic, and he's like, people down here are talking about they want their mama property, but they need to get more involved in the political process. The way that this man got cussed out, y'all, was unbelievable, because this man is an elder. They call this man all type of homophobic slurs, MFers, B words, all kind of stuff, right? So I'm just sitting there like, whoo, because George is sitting in front of me. George is sitting in front of me, and they sitting behind me. So to the average person, it looked like we all together. I get a call. They like, P. Ray, I heard that your people was down there cussing out George. I said, I don't cuss out old people. I don't do that. Like, for real, I am a real, what's this say? I am Austin. We don't cuss out old people in the Austin community. We got respect for our elders because we are good country fat people. This is Mississippi North on the west side. So we don't cuss out the elders. We don't disrespect the elders. We don't call them MFers and D-suckers and talk about you just mad because I got good and you ain't got one. You mad at your mama, all that. I don't do that. So at that point, I knew that I had to make a break. Cool. But we still cool, right? All right. So then, like I said, it's just been a lot of nitpicking, and people assume that we are together, and we are not together. Again, the organization that I belong to is called ChicagoRED. We are trained political people. You understand me? We're not out there. No. We read policy. We sit down. We come up with speaking points from that policy so that if any of us step in front of the mic, we are well prepared to speak. That's what we own here. This is not about no clout. This, guys, I don't even do this. I don't even make these videos. Want to know why? Because I be on my feet in this city. We were doing Trump rallies all around the city of Chicago this summer. I did 2 on 79th and Halsted. Let me tell y'all about 79th and Halsted. So they had this Trump mural over there after he got shot. It said CIA missed or whatever. So I'm like, wow, let's go do a rally over there. So, I'm talking to people or whatever. We're doing the rally. Some people were supposed to, because this is Chicago, so you got to check in when you go to different neighborhoods, especially because I'm from the west side. I don't know anything about what's happening south of Cermak. So we go over there, and I'm setting up my Trump stuff, and so all these guys like converge on me, and they like, "Who is you? Who sent you, man? Joe, we edit this out." I'm like, "Ain't nobody scared of y'all. I mean, what's to it, baby? What's up?" So they like, "Oh man, this girl crazy. We like you, girl. What you want?" I'm like, "Y'all, look, I just want to register people to vote. That's it. That's the only reason I'm out here is to register people to vote, tell them about this Trump movement, and then we can go on." They like, "You know what? We like you. We can see that you are sincere about what's going on, because sweetheart, you don't even understand what kind of danger you in." I'm like, or 70th Halsted, excuse me, Miss Margie, 70th and Halsted was wild. And I'm like, no, I don't understand what kind of danger I could be in if I'm just trying to register my people to vote. And they like, "Man, your heart's so pure, like you just don't even understand what's happening right now, P. Ray." And I'm like, no, I don't. Because again, this is America. I should be able to go anywhere I want to in the city to register people to vote. And I came over here to see the mural. But when I got there, the mural had been painted over. So the gentleman who painted over the mural told me, had I known that people actually like this mural, I never would have painted it over it. I'm like, no, it's okay. Again, that's why we out here to show love. So now I got real live friends in Inglewood. Again, I don't go out south, but now I know if I do go out south, I got some people to call and say, "Okay, y'all, I'm on my way. ChicagoRED is going to do XYZ. Can you guys secure the space?" Cool. So we went over there twice. The second time was much better. It was so beautiful. And then we did a rally on Madison and Central right here in Austin. And that one was a wild one too, because the owner of Uncle Remus decided that she was going to close her restaurant and bring her whole staff down there to try to punk us. And who? So, she come up, Yeah, P. Ray, you knew it was gonna be some mess. I told her, ain't nobody making no mess but you. And this is a Sunday afternoon. Y'all need to be frying chicken. Why you out here bothering me? So it was a big to do. Guns got pulled. It was wild. But again, when you out here and you sincerely doing the work, then the work is being done. And that's what I'm saying. This is not about social media likes, follows, none of that. Because at the end of the day, somebody like me that's standing on some property that somebody stood on their feet to give to me, I'm going to fight for my property and I'm going to keep it. I'm going to make sure that the property taxes are properly allocated. I'm going to make sure that the children can get to the schools because everything my family got, we got it through the Chicago public schools. My mama and daddy met at CPS, were educated, went to college, got good jobs, took care of me. Had me, went to the Chicago public schools, became well educated, got a good job, I take care of baby love. So the Chicago public schools matter to me. The neighborhoods matter to me. Having a stop sign at the end of my block matters to me because I am a member of the community. I am a deeply rooted member of my community. This is not about no clout whatsoever. And if you feel like people are doing this for clout, I mean, I know you don't feel that about me, but if you see others, just know that that's what they own. You weren't out here with us when we were fighting the people in the street. Oh, but then we had this other one, this other Trump rally on Madison and like Central Park. And that one, friends, was beautiful. It was a beautiful day. We had it in the garden. I went to District 11, talked to the police. I'm like, y'all, I'm about to have a Trump rally in the park. They're like, girl, you a tough one. I'm like, no, this is America. Come on out. So they went out. Shout out to Mark Carter. He came and barbecued for us. Again, we know how to show love. We know how to show love because this is something legitimate for us. This is not, I'm out here trying to take care of something for P. Ray because I know how to handle my business. I know that in this game of politics, you cannot go down to somebody's job and heckle them and think that they finna help you. How? Who you finna bully in the city of Chicago? Chicago is a city of bullies. You can't bully Chicago people. Now, if you want to get something done, you have to shake a hand and make a friend, which is why I said I'm not going to personally attack anything about Brandon. You know what I'm saying? It's all kind of stuff I can say about Brandon, but I'm not here to attack Brandon. I'm here to focus on the politics of Brandon because at the end of the day, we are here to get policy passed. Not to go viral, not to end up on the news, not to get called by podcast people. Yes, that's something that comes with the work. You gotta do the work. And instead of focusing so much on getting clout, get busy. In ChicagoRED, everybody is a deputy registrar, which means that my people can go anywhere in the state of Illinois and register people on the spot because the goal is to get the people registered to move them into another political mentality. The goal is to raise the self-esteem, the patriotic esteem of the people through, the America First movement. Because we are as American as sweet potato pie. And then when it comes time to vote, we was going to vote for Trump. So if you didn't vote for Trump, what you doing? Why are you here other than for attention? You don't know the policy. You ain't talking about policy. Well, nobody talking about the illegals till I went up there and talked about Wanda and the money. Before that, it was all personal. It was all me, mine. No, it's not you. It's bigger than you. It's the city of Chicago, not just Black Chicago, Irish Chicago, Italian Chicago, Chinese Chicago. Shout out to the Chinese. They said that Chinatown flipped because of ChicagoRED. One of my homegirls from Chinatown, she like, girl, I went over there and I told my people about what y'all were talking about for ChicagoRED, and they said, yes, we are with it. So we know that we won an award. Again, this takes time. It takes energy. It takes effort. It takes love. It takes money. I was flipping my corporate paycheck into this for years. Years, y'all. Years. In real life, if you Google me, you will see that I am a registered stockbroker in the United States of America. And I was flipping my check into this movement for years. So no, it ain't never been about no money. Now, yes, we do need some help, and please donate at chicagored.org. Please, please donate at ChicagoRED.org. We got to pay bills, okay? We got bills. I'm behind on the bills of Chicago Red. Help us out because ain't nobody getting paid off of this. Ain't nobody getting paid. Now, if you travel with me, when we went to the inauguration, we covered the flights, we covered the food, we covered the ground transportation, all that good stuff was covered because again, this was for the group to celebrate the hard work that we were doing. Ain't nobody getting paid. But um, when we talk about the immigration issue and we look at it as a policy issue because to Whitehurst's point, people were talking about it. People were talking about it, the immigrants, but I'm talking about policy. See, it's one thing to talk about, oh, we got these illegals and oh, these people are in front of the police station. Yes, those are facts. But what's the policy behind it? The policy is they took the $51 million and gave it to them. Had I not said that in City Hall, well, nobody knew that. If Ray Lopez didn't call my show and say that, that never would have been a conversation. And guess what? I was paying VON to be on that air. Everything that I've done in this movement, I've paid for. Ain't nobody gave me nothing. Instead, you know what I'm doing? I'm fighting Democrats. I'm fighting Republicans. I'm fighting Black folks. I'm fighting white folks. Fight, 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 fight. That's dead. And you know what else is dead? People trying to come over to us and say that we together, we one move. No, we not. Because again, Chicago Red don't get arrested at the White House. No, we don't. Ugh, I ain't going to jail. I don't want no mug shot. No, I'm somebody's mama. I digress again. With all of that being said, with all of that being said, I thank y'all for the love, the support, all of the everything, you know what I'm saying? A lot of this stuff that's happening is because, again, I was too nice. People hit me up in the inbox, P. Ray, I want to help you do X, Y, Z. Oh, okay, bro, yeah, you can help. Come on, we can do this. Nah, all that's dead. No, because right now, we, again, are not doing this for clout. We got a mayor that's going to testify before Congress, and we got to be on top of that. You got to know the policy and what he's going to talk about. You got to know what questions they about to ask. You got to know the federal law. And if you ain't been talking about that, if you ain't been researching that, if you ain't been building no talking points on that, then it's for clout. It's for attention, and we don't have time for that. Someone said nice guys finish last. I know. It's always my problem. I am so kind to people until I'm not. And then when I'm not, then that is a problem. Then that is P. Ray out of order. P. Ray just no. Because ain't nobody going to tell you how good I was to them. Real good. Exceptionally good. Before they were talking about that Amundsen Park, this is when I was on the radio hosting the night show. So they were doing the neighborhood meetings. And I said on the air, I said, y'all, tomorrow, it is going down at Amundsen Park, okay? It's going down out of all the meetings that's been happening in the city of Chicago. This meeting that's happening tomorrow, Tyler Farrow is about to get cussed out like he never been cussed out before. And we had the meeting, boom, he get cussed out. Now, with Mark Carter, hold on. Okay, so Mark Carter calls and he like, P. Ray, we doing this press conference at City Hall. You should come through. But I didn't go to the press conference. Nothing against Mark. It's just that going to City Hall just takes a lot out of me. So I didn't go. So they did a press conference. That press conference went viral. The people who participated in the press conference went viral. I'm like, yeah, okay, the movement's moving, yes. Again, because I'm a good-hearted person. I'm a really, really, really good-hearted person. And you know, again, I'm pushing people. I'm promoting people. I ain't never been no hater. I don't even know how to be a hater. That's not even in my essence to be jealous of people. That's not me. Because I know that what God has for me, it is for me. It's for me. Okay? I know without a doubt that he will bring me out because what God has for me is for me. I'm doing the work to preserve the legacy of my ancestors so they are walking right beside me, in front of me, behind me, and protecting me from everything that could ever go wrong. Every piece of this movement, y'all, has been working like a charm. Like a charm. It's coming in a way that I never even expected. When I told people I was gonna start doing this, they like, girl, ain't nobody gonna listen to you. Ain't nobody wanna hear that Republican stuff. They gonna boo you off the stage. Remember Carrie's mom from Carrie? She's like, they're gonna laugh at you. This is what people were telling me, right? But now people not laughing because they know that this is true. And what I'm saying is, I don't want no grifting off my organization no more. I don't even understand why the names are similar. It don't make no sense because how do you come to my meeting, sit in my meeting, hear what I'm talking about, and then create a similar organization with a similar name that meets at the same time that my organization meets? And then you tell me, oh, well, this is because you guys are on the west side and we from the south side, but it's south side people over here. But again, my mentality was, oh, it's okay. It's okay. We are all together and we're growing the movement and it's gonna work out and it's gonna be wonderful. No. And so what brought us here today is an article was printed in the Crusader. And in this article, they had a picture of Chicago Flips Red, but they had it titled Turn Chicago Red. And they called them some nappy head hood rats and said that they go to City Hall and scream and shout and that they are being funded by a church out of Woodlawn. And am I in DC? No, not yet. But I will be there. Shout out to, because I've been doing this for a while, I got an invite from a congressman. So yes, I will be there with the congressional escorts because again, I do this in real life on my feet and everybody sees it. Even when I was, and I'll get back to what I was saying about why we're here. But at one point I had even got foot surgery, right? So when I had foot surgery, I was supposed to be on the scooter, but I had this thing called an I walk, which was like a peg leg, and I was everywhere on the peg leg. You know what I'm saying? They like, dang, P. Ray, you ain't gonna rest your leg. I used to be on the radio with my leg elevated on the desk. Okay, like again, I have consistently done this. Consistently, I'm talking about with stitches in my feet, stitches in my face, all kind of stuff, showing up week after week after week to get the people the information and confidence that they need to move on. Okay, I digress. So this article comes out, cool, okay, I don't care. Again, this is Chicago. People gonna pick at you, they're gonna do whatever. But a member of that organization wrote that they were actually talking about me and not them. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why are you even putting me in this conversation at all? No, they weren't talking about me because P. Ray has been a member of the Chicago media since I was 16 years old. The first show that I ever had in this city, I was 16 years old and I was the hostess of NE on TV, New Expressions on TV, which was a call-in cable talk show on CAN TV that came on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. So I'm not new to this media stuff. I was on VON for 3 years. People know me. Again, there's never been any conversation about the sincerity of me and me in this movement. Never been a conversation. And there's never been any type of static between me and other people because, again, I've always been open-hearted. The only time I've ever had static with people in this movement was from people who wanted to be me and be in my spot. And I'm like, Joe, work me. Outwork me. Work harder than me. But no, you don't want to do that. You just want to hop on my back and ride me to the finish line like Yoshi. No, baby, this ain't Mario. We're not doing that. Now, we can be together, but you're going to have some decorum about your damn self. All this ripping and running and hollering and screaming and acting a fool. I get a call Saturday. Was it Saturday? Yeah, it had to be Saturday. I get a call Saturday, and someone says to me, hey, P. Ray, I heard ChicagoRED got arrested at the White House. What? No, ChicagoRED ain't never been arrested nowhere, except for the time that one of my members had to take out his gun and get them people up out of our faces. And even then, they let him right out because we went straight to the police station and said, "Hey, these people came to aggress us. They were showing being rude." The police said that because we always have the police at our events, so the police looked at the body cam, say, "You know what? They were bothering you. You all were doing self-defense. You get out of jail," which means that the people who came down there to harass us on Madison and Central, we could have legally shot them. But we ain't here to shoot nobody. We're not here to put nobody in a casket. We here to encourage people to have more kids. We want people to live to be old. We want people to be happy. We want people to keep their properties. We want people to have stable families. This is what we want, because I understand that as strong as the community is, the more output we have, the more political capital that we have, the more we can get things accomplished for ourselves, for our people. This is what I'm saying. It's always been about this, y'all. I got a whole life in Africa. I promise you. I have such a good life in Africa that I told myself as I was over there enjoying my life in Africa, P-Ray, it don't make no sense for you to be over here in Africa building all this stuff and you got so much work to do in your own city. So I came back to the United States to be on the work that I'm on. And it's been 7 years. We're going on 8 years. So this is not a clout chase for anybody, but I calmly and sincerely ask, leave us alone. If you're not trying to help me out, leave me alone. Stop trying to bring all type of weird people to stand on top of me. We see what you're doing. You're not fooling nobody. Nobody is tricked. Nobody is fooled. We see every single thing that is being done because we are Chicago public school graduates, which means that we know a scam very well when we see it. We know what's going on. Leave us alone. Don't mention us. Don't say none of that. I don't want to be associated with no chaos and lack of decorum because my people ain't getting put out. We're not doing that. We're not down there at City Hall to heckle people. Hell, my alderman is up there. Let me tell you about my alderman. And I love her. Shout out to Emma Miss. Even though she's a little tricky sometimes, I do get her politics. When they were doing the budget negotiations, the first time they did not approve the $300 million, okay? And I was like, thank you, Alderman, girl. Again, because I talk to these people. I text these people. My alderman, not the only alderman number I got in my phone. I got all type of alderman numbers in my phone. I be texting them, hey, y'all, look, check it out. Ooh, this and the third. Ooh, I like your outfit today. Ooh, I like them shoes. Well, ooh, I ain't like what you did. Don't vote like that no more. Because, again, the goal is to shake a hand and make a friend. We're not up here to bully nobody at their jobs. But my alderman, the second time they did the vote, she voted for it. And I was like, yo, what you do all that for? She's like, girl, all that hollering and screaming and chaos, I can't do that. I'm 72 years old. Yes, ma'am. And that's what really made me realize that you have to have a certain level of decorum when you are going to talk to these people. And I knew this already, but to hear her say like, yo, that's too much for me. It's too much. This is not a concert. This is real. This is real life. Real life. Again, I know that the only thing that I got right now is this building that my grandma stood on her feet in the chicken factories around the city of Chicago to give me. That's all I got. Okay, and I love it. Oh, when I tell y'all I love it, she gave me this deep tub with the claws on it, and I got hardwood floors, and I got radiators and bay windows and wood trim. I mean, it is just gorgeous. And I love my mom for doing this for me, okay? Because my mom bought this building in 72 so that her grandkids could always have somewhere to live. My mama and daddy were sophomores in high school sophomores or freshmen in high school when all of this went down. So she was thinking about me well before I was born. And this is why I work hard for this. That's it. That's all. Now, yes, Fox News appreciate me. But when Fox call, I tell them, hey, how about not me today? Let me call. Why don't you call so-and-so? Let me give them your number. For instance, Mark Carter. He went on there 2 weeks ago. Excuse me. on the Liz McDonald show. They call him. You know, they call me, P. Ray, can you come? No, I can't come, but call Mark. Again, because I ain't no hater. I ain't never been no hater. I'm not a gatekeeper. It's so much work to do in this movement that we got to stick together. But if I catch you not trying to stick together, if I catch you trying to be sneaky and manipulative and all that kind of stuff, Joe, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Stop trying to make it seem like we together, because we are not together. I want everybody to know that Chicago Red is a standalone group. And if it does not say Chicago Red, it ain't got nothing to do with us. Nothing. Again, because our people are trained. Trained. We are not just a group that get together and eat Italian beef pizzas on Thursday. No. We do actual training. We go over media. We go over policy. We ask people who want to do what, when, where, how. We set goals and we accomplish them every single week. This ain't no social club. So, with that being said, I'm going to sign off because I can go on and on. You see, I got Mother Red up there. That's because everybody want to talk about what they started, what they did. Her mother. We started this a long time ago in 2018 when we were slapping Trump bumper stickers on Biden signs. You weren't with us in the gym. You weren't shooting with us in the gym. You weren't with us in the trenches. Do you know that we did a Trump rally on Lake in Ashland at Union Park in 2020, I think? So even that, to do Trump movements in the city of Chicago, in the city of Chicago in 2020, we were there. You were not. How are we equals? How? We're not. We're not. Shout out to Ken Turner out here. We got Ken Turner, who has been rocking with us from the beginning. And Ken is he can't speak or hear, but when we call him, he show up because he knows that it's time to do some real stuff. Real things are happening, guys. We are truly changing this city in a way that you can't even understand. Do you understand that Joe Biden beat Donald Trump by 1 million votes in 2020? In 2024, Kamala Harris beat Donald Trump by 247,000 votes. That means that 753,000 people walked away from the Democratic Party in 4 years. Why? Because we helped remove the stigma of racism from MAGA. Do you know that they called us from Wisconsin and Michigan and said, all of the work that y'all are doing in Chicago helped us flip these states because it was easy to go to Milwaukee. It was easy to go to Grand Rapids. It was easy to go to Flint. It was easy to go to Detroit. And we can say, hey, y'all see what they doing in Chicago? We got to get on board too. You understand me? We were the anchors of what happened. And you see, I never said me. No, we were the anchors. And it just didn't start in 2024. All of this started back in 2018. This is not a new movement. We've been doing this for years and busting out at the end of the movement saying, oh, I'm this and I'm that. No, you can be, but we ain't no, like my grandma would say, I ain't none of your peer. I ain't saying it in no arrogant way or no diminishing way, but there are levels of dedication. And shout out to Orlando checking in. Orlando Owens on Facebook can tell you all this stuff that we were doing in Chicago was reverberating up 94 West. This is not a game, y'all. Nobody was doing this for clout, at least not me. I know I wasn't, because again, I flipped my corporate paycheck into this for years. Years. I could have been driving a Jag. Instead, I drive a little bitty Nissan because I know we got stuff to do and we got to keep moving forward, because this is what I've been doing my entire life. This is what I know how to do. This is what I do best. Steph Curry, daddy taught him how to shoot balls. My daddy taught me Chicago politics. And that's what I do. That's what I know. That's who I am. If you Google me, you can find articles of me from when I was 15 years old giving political opinions and commentary. Yes, shout out to Cindy Werner. She does love me, and I love her too. Because again, Black women are supposed to be sticking together in this. We're not fighting. And the larger movement, this larger Black conservative movement, we're not fighting and fussing and tussling and talking mess about each other. Nope. We got a big old group chat on Facebook and everybody in there every day encouraging people. Large political influencers in there encouraging people. We are in the middle of an invasion. We don't got time for that. We don't got time for no tussling and talking and that. No, honey. No, 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 no. This is not the time for clout. This is not the time to elevate yourself. Oh, I voted for myself. What? How? But again, I gotta wrap it up because I got my peach cobbler in the stove and I don't want it to burn. So I want to end this by saying, God bless America. Thank y'all for supporting us this entire time. Yes, we're gonna be on Capitol Hill. Again, I for me, I never want to offend people. So yes, you're gonna start seeing Chicago Red in a big group because they were like, P Ray, you're always bringing people, and I'm like, oh, okay, I don't want to make it seem like, what it is. But God bless America. Chicago Red is doing our thing. The people who know. The city of Chicago knows and understands who was on WVON getting cussed out. Okay, me? Oh, baby, you have no idea how Black Chicago was beating me up in the beginning of this movement. I don't even use my name Patricia because my mama name is Patricia and she don't even want her name mixed up in none of this. She said, girl, I can't do that, MAGA. So this is a lot on me as a person, but I don't mind doing it because I understand that every victory that we have in this movement is an investment in my grandchildren, just like my mama invested in me by buying this building. So thank y'all. Happy, what's today? Monday. Happy Monday. And I love y'all. God bless America, ChicagoRED.org. Go to the website, drop a few coins so we can keep this moving. Mwah. Ciao.